Hello, today is May 28th, 20th day of Vlog challenge, real talk challenge. So right now I am it's in the morning, like probably before 9 a.m. So I took online course in Japan, which was from Vancouver time. It's PST, 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. So I was like doing like online study, like it's not like a webinar until then. And you know, when you actually are pretty excited to learn about something, your brain just keeps going and you get really excited. And after that, you know, my neck and my how do you say this, shoulder got really like hurt, because you know, too much screen time is not really good for your neck and shoulders, right? So I did yoga earlier and still I couldn't sleep, so I decided to do a video journaling, which I usually do video journaling at the end of the day, like at nighttime. And by the time, like, I feel like I'm pretty tired and exhausted, but then in the morning I feel more energetic. So I'm just experimenting different time zone, like, you know, to see, like, and also I don't necessarily feel like I do have to be like super consistent. I don't know, like for me, right, I get really tired easily, and you know, I just cannot stick to one kind, and that's me, right? And you know, I need stimulation, and I constantly need brain stimulation, and also appearance stimulation as well. Like I never stay the same way, you know, in terms of my makeup, and you know, also my body shape, and you know, my hair, you know, that's just something that I have to accept within myself and live with it, right? And yeah, anyways, so I want to share some of the things that I've learned today in that webinar. But I'll see how much I can convert these language into English. It's a challenge. But this is study called communication and actions and communication. So it really based on like brain science, and that's what I really love. And what I love about it is it's in Japanese. So I do watch a lot of YouTube videos in English, which it's beneficial for me, but still my first primary language is Japanese. So when I actually get the information and digest it in my guts, basically Japanese is the best language for me to get it. So that's great, but I have to convert it. Like I do have to take time to convert it back into English. It's interesting because it's a little bit like reverse engineering, because I think a lot of information is from the Western countries. So you know, it's converted in Japanese and then converted back in English. So that's pretty interesting and unique, I think. And yeah, and I just truly believe in individuality, right? In the future, mass, that won't like exist. Like mass media, yeah, it's gonna diverse. So right now, it's very important to really cultivate your individual. Like, what is unique? What is your niche? And you know, what is your audience? So that's something that I think I'm working on right now. But anyways, I want to share another 5 minutes. First of all, it start out from, without accepting your vulnerability, you can never make a strong team. So this is about actions and communication, but it also teaches about team building within the company as well. But you know, relationship relates to everything, and it's just a mirror. Relationship with your father, your mother, and your little sister, your brother, your roommate, your partner, or your husband, your wife, anyone, right? So it's basically reflecting on every single, and your colleagues, your boss. So you know, before that, within yourself, if you cannot accept your vulnerability or your, you know, traits or faults, you will never be able to receive anybody's help in a way, in a true way, I would say, in a synergistic way, I would say. I truly believe this is the case because, for example, even for me as a manager, when I always wanted to kind of show myself as an alpha or like a, I'm the boss kind of way, you always see that your staff is never really satisfied in their face. Like they listen to you and they do the things that you tell them to do, but they're really never really willing to do. And I can see that, right? So the best way is to accept that well, this is Japanese, but it's more like, I am not really good at this, although, probably people will say that this is a manager's job, but that's not my strong suit. And communicating that, but then still you have to bring them to see the goal, right? So I think CEO, manager, leaders, any kind of person, if they have the ability to actually envision, be able to communicate the vision, and then also be able to communicate the hows and what very well, then that will build a strong team. But if the owners, managers, leaders, if they're always like, in their shields and say like, hey, I'm cool, or like, I can do this, or, oh my God, you guys are so stupid, that kind of attitude, that will really piss people off. Like, it's just creating a really vicious cycle within your organization and your team. And this is something that people fail to foresee, a lot of people. Unless the person is really actually focusing on trying to see the phenomenon and following up on the reality instead of what they feel or what they believe that they're confident in. And we all have to accept that human beings are inconsistent. We try to be consistent, but we are not, because we are always affected by our relationship around us, right? We can never control the outside world. We can only control ourselves. But then, how you cannot really disassociate for what's happening. If your parents get sick, or if your little sister is sad, and you do receive that influence, and it's really, really hard to detach from those. We're all human beings. So I think that acknowledgement is super, super important. And also understanding the hormones. I truly believe that too. This facilitator is really, really, how do you say this? He really is an advocate. I would say advocate, but he learns from Simon Sinek a lot from his talks, like not directly, but studies his material, and I do too. I love Simon Sinek. He talks a lot about dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, those hormones that human biology has, and it's really important for people to understand things that's based on the reality instead of just mentality. And that's what I really loved about this webinar, is that it's every person has a different dominant types of hormones, and that's so true. Like, for example, I'm a dopamine type, and I really, really focus on achievement, strategy, and I definitely do what I say. So that's my type. Other people is adrenaline dominant, which is they actually do actions. They just keep doing actions, and they're driven by fun, exciting activities, socializing, that kind of things. Oxytocin driven person, they focus on everyone is included. They want everyone to be included. They have this kind of oneness kind of oxytocin driven type, not driven, I mean dominant. And also serotonin dominant type is also serotonin dominant type is more like visionary. They vision things and they feel things, and they're like essentially empaths, so to speak. empath, HSP maybe. So, you know, it's like you can never categorize people into 4 different types, but the beauty of this is that it's not about types. Like, let's say, hey, I'm dopamine type, so I'm just dopamine. No, it's more like what's dominant, and you have all of the components because all of the substance is within your brain, right? So yeah, I really loved this because the approach is never to create one type of person, which is an achiever and a performer. And if we all aim for all of the human beings to be achiever and performers, this world will crash. Meaning that we have to respect individuals' uniqueness and personality and beliefs. And it teaches you on different level of like different types of dominant types, and then how effective can you communicate with those people, and even to understand the person's dominant types. And you know, it's really interesting because this is something that I always didn't really have to be conscious about it to do it, but just so you know, I wasn't able to do it in the very beginning. So in the very beginning, I struggled to my 2nd year, 3rd year as a manager. I did struggle, you know, how to communicate, because when you communicate, you have that iffy moment. For example, like, you know, you truly believe in that, but then, you know, you try to negotiate with the boss, but the boss didn't agree and you couldn't proceed. And then, you know, you didn't want to show that vulnerable side to your staff, and, you know, how you communicate it, how translate it. Sometimes it comes out in a very weird way. So, you know, you can feel that team energy level is a little bit weird, right? So I did go through those experiences, and I adjusted myself how to, you know, communicate with people, how to set up individual, you know, interviews. And I always really focused on fairness. And, you know, at the very, you know, recent, you know, job, I was able to perform that way in a way that I always wanted to. So it's a constant practice, I think. And I think that, you know, by keep learning about it, you know, there will be very how do you say, fruitful results to it. And, you know, yes, like, you know, like me, dopamine dominant type, we focus on results. And, you know, we also feel like, you know, without the results, you know, we essentially feel like we don't have value within ourselves. So, you know, it also really ties to mental health, because every single dominant type has a different downfall, different way of like a negative cycle. And it's very important for us to understand what is it's more like self-awareness. When we are in our negative cycle, what kind of behavior do we take? It's easier for me to speak for myself, because dopamine dominant type will be really addictive. So if you're really under stress or anything, it will be very addictive, like, you know, maybe alcohol, or, you know, I don't know, a lot of addictions out there, like, you know, maybe smoking, you know, nicotine substance maybe, or maybe even, you know, any kind of unhealthy addiction will be tied to this, you know, type. So, you know, I truly want to keep learning about it, and I took a lot of memos. So I hope within my output I can, you know, break down the things that I've learned today little by little, since today the time is like past like 4 minutes already. So I'm just gonna do that. So little by little, step by step, I hope that I can, you know, translate this into English and try to be able to, you know, speak in a very confident way. And in order for me to actually be able to confidently speak about something, I think continuous study is very important. So I'll keep doing that. But anyways, I'm glad I'm able to continue this video vlog. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Oh, and don't forget to hit the subscribe. Oh, if you feel like you want to support this activity, or if you feel like there's something that was beneficial to you, hope you can hit the subscribe button and press this. And also, oh, there's a notification bell around there, so if you're interested, you can hit that button, and if you do that, every time I upload a new video, you'll receive a notification. But anyways, I'll see you guys again. Bye.